Yo, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Arsuno coming to you live from downtown London, Ontario, Canada. Yes, it's true, the Illuminati sucks big fucking balls, and I'm not into them.
Here's my clap. Ready? Oh my goodness.
Redundant, synchronized. We need to sing a song too. He has no style. He has no grace.
This song has a funny taste.
I didn't know the rest of the lyrics. I'm glad you finished those off for me.
Yeah, well, that's Kooky Kong?
It's
Dopey Kong?
Is Donkey Kong?
Oh,
Have you heard of Donkey
DK.
Kong?
Yeah, what's DK stand for?
Donkey? I think. I don't know if you're being facetious. I don't know anything about Donkey Kong.
Stupid Kong.
Is there a stupid Kong?
They're all stupid in my book. I'm a Sega kid, so
I love
all this shit's stupid.
I love
to me.
Cranky Kong and Retard Kong.
Yeah.
All of them.
Wow. I'm just thinking about the adventures I had with Retard Kong in my early adolescence.
Gay Kong.
Trans Kong.
He has no penis.
Maybe.
He has no cunt. This Kong.
Looks like a Ken doll.
That doesn't rhyme. That's terrible.
Motherfucker. I didn't write it.
Okay.
I'm just living.
It's the 90s.
I'm just living the 90s truth.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
It's the 90s. Everything's great. It's not the 90s.
It's not that
It's
great.
actually, like, pretty far
It's
off
not
in
the 90s. It's not very good.
It's good
That's
right now.
why we retreated into the woods.
It looks like my recording is stopped. That's cool. Why did that happen?
Ethan's recording broke, and we're back.
Clap for me.
Clap for me, baby. All right. Here.
Oh, look at those spikes. Oh, wow. It's very in time. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. I was a music professional.
I don't know if you were professional so much as, like...
I was an after school. I was a fanatic. I was a
Oh
hobbyist.
man, dude, jazz fanatics, dude. We meet on fucking Wednesdays at the church.
The jazz club. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna think about how we can spin jazz for Christ, because as we know, jazz is a godless genre.
It is crazy how little I cared or knew about music while in marching band for how many years was I? 5 years.
5 years. Well,
Jesus.
anything that you did from the period of 12 to 24
4 years.
is just done specifically for the purpose of getting laid. By my
Yeah.
reckoning.
Yeah, in marching band you had to sign up in spring, and my girlfriend broke up with me in July. So
That's a real problem.
that last year was a rough.
Rough patch.
I was not as interested anymore.
Yeah.
I think we won everything. I think we won state though.
it's like that Key and Peele bit with the jazzercise.
I have no idea.
Okay,
no,
fair
have
enough.
Not.
Fair enough.
Do not
Yeah,
understand
just completely stoic as you win the state title for.
That's probably what it was like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Just bitter, just being a bitch to everyone because a girl broke up with me. Just being angry, angsty all the time.
What does it fucking matter anyway, bro?
Fuck whatever.
Music's fucking
I'm gonna
stupid.
eat lunch by myself.
Music's fucking dumb, dude. What's me?
Suck
All the
my
music
dick.
left my life with my girlfriend, bro. Fucking mad depressed, dude. Fucking mad.
What's he got that I haven't? Why? Is it just because he's 6'4" and 16?
He's fucking gonna die at 58 anyway from a heart problem. 6'4", my
I'll
ass.
look him up. I hope he has.
Fucking.
I'm coming for you. I think his name was Ben. I'm coming for you, Ben. You stole my horse girl.
Yeah.
Fucking, he had even less personality than I did. I was like, what the fuck is wrong? What is going on with this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comp pie. Can cheers to that, dude.
Yes, gang stalking camping trip 2020 is
Yearly.
ongoing.
Seasonal.
Yeah.
The season being the year.
So
Also
yeah.
the summer of good.
It's a double whammy.
Whammy.
Yeah. We it's the summer of good, and also we got here and we've just been drinking whiskey and shooting guns for like 5 hours.
It's the summer good and the day of intense drunkenness.
The day of.
And the half day of I can barely stand up.
Harry Potter and the alcoholism.
Oh,
It's
the oft forgotten 8th book,
mm-hmm.
the stage play.
Yeah,
I like the part where we got drunk and shot guns.
It's literally all we. Yeah, no, I was gonna try to find something else to say about it, but like we're just very, very, very trashed in the woods, and we've been shooting two guns. One of them is 109 years old, and one of them is just like a
maybe 10 years old or something.
Yeah.
And you would think that would get boring, but no. As long as the sun's up, it's still entertaining.
You can just keep going.
Yeah. It turns out it fulfills some sort of carnal need to just hit shit with lead.
Even if you can't see your target because it's overcast.
Yeah, and you're in the woods.
You're just in the woods.
Still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're here to talk about. It's just not.
The complete opposite of the life we're living right now.
Besides being in the woods, yeah, it is still the summer of good. We have to abide by the rules, and the rules are that we watch good things. And what was?
There's a bat.
Does bats make that noise?
Yeah, they squeak.
That was a crazy squeak. Okay. I hope you can hear the fire. That's a good ambience. Yeah, we watched Lain. We finally did it.
It's something we should have seen 10 years ago, but here we are.
I wasn't even watching anime 10 years ago, so no, I shouldn't have.
Okay, well, it's something we should have watched 5 years ago at least.
I guess.
One of the most famous
I wouldn't say famous.
Notorious?
Sure.
I feel like I've known about Lain for about as long as I've known about anime, and I haven't seen it until now.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that everyone knows about but no one watches.
Yeah, it's like watching Breathless. It's like watching Godard.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, I agree.
It's French New Wave. It's like
true.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Russian cinema. Yeah, I love fucking Solaris.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Anyway,
we watched Lain.
Serial Experiments Lain.
Great title. 3 meaningless words, except for Lain,
Which is a name.
which is her name.
Mm.
The character's name. Excuse me. We really are in the woods and very drunk.
So Serial Experiments. When watching it, I'm like, was this supposed to be the first part of a number of things? Because Serial Experiments to me sounds like it's like Dogma 95. You know anything about Dogma 95?
No, I've heard of the movie Dogma.
That's a Kevin Smith film, which is
Yeah.
unrelated.
Oh.
Dogma 95 was a movement by a number of European filmmakers to make the lowest budget movies they can. They're like, we're going to completely eschew any sort of traditional filmmaking process and just shoot whatever we can, man.
I bet that was sick.
It was sick. Festin's good, and then the rest of it's ass. But it's like I thought Serial Experiments was like they tried to start a series where it's like we're going to do a serial, meaning serialized television, experiments, meaning the most out there shit we could. But then I never confirmed that. Basically, it seems like there was just some adjectives that they threw onto the front.
I mean, we would have to watch NIEA_7 to know if that's true, because this is basically Lain is part of a lineage of it's directed by Ryutaro Nakamura. Rest in peace.
Pouring out.
He's famous for this and for an anime called Despera, which is in development now and will never come out.
And
when it will come out, will not be anything like it was originally planned. You also spill all your whiskey?
No, a leaf just landed on me.
Oh, lucky.
Froggy.
Yeah, so there's NIEA 7, which I never hear anyone talk about, and there's also Haibane Renmei, which you've probably heard about but don't recognize the title because it's like the kind of thing that you never hear pronounced. But that's another. You'll recognize the art style because it's the same as Lain. He directed Kino no Tabi. You know that one.
Kino no Tabi?
Kino's Journey.
Oh, yeah.
And Ghost Hound.
Oh, no.
And then it's written by the guy who wrote Digimon Tamers.
Ooh. Oh.
You know that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it.
Now I like it.
I can see it.
And the character design is by Yoshitake Abe, who did Nia 7, I don't know how to pronounce it still, Haibane Renmei, who he also did the story for, Texnalize, famous for being the most depressing thing ever. Haven't seen it.
But you're going to watch eventually.
We'll get to it.
Summer of Good's pretty long.
Remember Rewrited? Derrida something? All You Need Is Kill? That guy? That's just the character design, though. Yeah. So it's what were we talking?
I didn't realize how much of stuff that I consumed as far as the character design, but you can really see it in those other works.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bit softer here.
He's.
I don't know if it's the translation into this particular story made the characters a little softer. I feel like
soft.
All You Need Is Kill isn't that soft. Anyway. No,
I don't know. Yeah, it's a story. It's about the internet, I guess.
Boy,
sort of.
Oh, I these are the moments where I'm glad I can just sit back and listen to you talk. I sip my wild turkey.
It's from 1998, and it's about the internet, sort of, and it's about people and humanity. And I approach this show with the same attitude that I approach everything that's like, this anime is such a mind fuck, dude. Whoa, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
No, this is the one time it ever actually lived up to its reputation. Do not fucking underestimate this show going into it. You will feel like a fuck.
This is nigh inscrutable.
Yes.
This is insanity.
You need to be on your best damn behavior to keep up with any of this. No, it's really genuinely out there. And when I was looking into this, I was reading the Wikipedia page after having consumed it, and apparently the director's ambition was to create something that was impossible for the West to enjoy. His goal was to make something that Americans could not possibly understand, and he was disappointed with the outcome because there's a whole bunch of Americans that pretend to understand. Because I feel like no, I think I understand exactly what it is going for, because this shit is genuinely obscure. Like, this shit is genuinely difficult to parse, and I think by the end of the show it comes together in a reasonably coherent way. But I would totally understand if somebody tapped out after like 5 episodes not understanding what the fuck is going on.
It's really impressive how watchable it is, despite me having almost no idea what's going on relative to other shows. I mean, these episodes feel like 9 minutes long, and they're full length, you know?
Yeah.
13 episodes. Yeah, like it's
like a Terrence Malick movie.
And I have no idea how they even stretched it into 13 episodes, because, like, every episode at the end I was thinking, how could things possibly go back to normal after this crazy thing happening? And they never really do.
No.
But somehow they're able to stretch this fucking nightmare into 13 episodes, and it never feels like it's being, like, you know, stretched beyond how far it should be.
No, it's immaculately conceived. I'm just like, I was in awe of it the whole time, because I'm like, if they were a bullshitter, like if the person who made this was a bullshitter who was like in over their head, you would see. But there's no gaps. There's no seams. It's like the world is perfect.
Especially because, like, it's, when it comes to writing stories about the internet, like, this feels like it was written by a guy who did not know anything about the internet, but he was really smart.
Yes.
And understood that he did not know anything about the internet. And he wrote a whole story around it.
He understood the human essence of it, and not necessarily the mechanics. And the mechanics don't matter.
Yeah, all of the specifics are extremely vague and really, really fucking weird. But the overall, narrative.
Well, it's called The Wired. It doesn't even care to be the internet. It's like...
Yeah, it's like an analog of the internet. but
and like at its core, the show could be explained in like 3 sentences, really. Where it's like it's a show about what would happen if the internet had pertinence on the real world, and if the real world interfaced directly with the internet, rather than being, because so at a certain point in the show, it's explained that there's a new internet protocol that's going to roll out that resonates in the same frequency as natural vibrations of the earth, which is basically bullshit speak for it's going to be able to affect the real world. And
yeah,
and this is a show made in 1998, and I genuinely was rethinking what I thought of the internet while watching this, from a human perspective, as far as like basically what I took away from it, before we haven't even gone into what the show's about, but what I took away from it was like, it's a show about how things that happen on the internet are not separate from the real world by any means.
Yes, the core thesis seems to be basically about how everything is connected in one way or another anyways, so the internet is just a protocol built to make use of that, which is a wild thing to do in 1998.
Well, it's so prescient. It's ridiculous, because like these are concepts that if you said them now, like I feel like could be kind of trite.
Yeah,
because we're so used to it at this point. We're like used to the fact that the internet can affect the real world. But in 1998, the internet was a database of information still, rather than a reflection of the real world around it. It's kind of like, it's like basically, it's like, okay, I want to go online and find an encyclopedia, rather than, and that's just, I mean, it might be emblematic of the way that Japan's always been a step ahead in terms of technology, where it's like 1998, those motherfuckers were going online with Pokemon, because they just had cell phones that could do RFID communication and shit.
That Dreamcast.
Right, yeah. The fucking, what the hell is that thing called in the Dreamcast? The
modem?
No, what's the... well, there's that.
Oh, the VMD?
Thank you, VMD.
That didn't have anything to do with the online.
I know, but it's there ahead of us.
I guess they had VMDs.
You want this in your pocket. Is it VMD or VMU?
VMU. No, you're
VMU.
right. It's VMU.
Yeah. The Dreamcast is... just a side note. The Dreamcast is a thing that... a future that could have been. What happens if the Dreamcast is the console that took hold? Because that shit was powerful, and it was nuts. It was a unique Japanese kind of strange.
People, I mean, it died early, so people it wouldn't have been that different. Like, it would. Like, it could get online, sure. The PS2 did that, no one cared. I
liked the big old stupid remote it had. That controller was ridiculous.
It was okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You could play Tekken real good.
I don't think I've ever held a Dreamcast controller.
Yeah. Anyways, that's in my perfect future life where I'm 35 and unmarried. I'm just living for an extended period of time in the middle of nowhere with electricity, and I'm playing fucking games on my VMU while I'm walking around.
Yeah, I don't think you played the games on the VMU, but
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's more like it's supplemental.
It's a little screen where it's like I could see my health bar for Resident Evil.
Yeah, you see a little carrot. You can see your guy's face, and he's like, "Oh, it hurts."
Resident Evil. It's like, "Ow,
my health is low. Ouch." Says the word "ouch." Oh, my fucking VMU's on ouch. I gotta fucking find a health pack, dude.
Oh my god, this game's such a cunt. I can't fucking... Why did I fucking buy this game? Could have bought a PlayStation 2.
Not in 1998, you couldn't.
I could have just saved my fucking money, bought a PlayStation 2 when that comes out.
I bet they'll make a second PlayStation. Yeah, okay, bud.
Sony's going down, fucker.
Fag.
Go! Get a little this Dreamcast loser over here. Nice VMU, queer.
That's someone experienced that and is very bitter today and is like calling people out on Twitter.
No, anybody who got bullied for the VMU is shot up a school already. It's done. You know what I mean? Them shits they sold on $99.99.
Yeah. God, my dad My dad was telling me this story recently. I don't think I had ever heard this, or if he told it to me, he had sanitized it because I was young.
How old's your dad?
56.
Okay, my dad's 10 years older than your dad, so your dad is somewhat tuned in to real world.
My dad, when he had this small apartment in 2012, he got this tiny curly-haired white dog, one of those,
Sure.
And we had this dog for a while, and eventually he just couldn't take care of it, so he gave him to this old couple. And he was just telling me recently, he goes, did I tell you about that time I was walking Rocky? Rocky was the dog's name.
Yeah.
He goes, I was walking Rocky, and this school bus rolled by, and this little 12-year-old boy rolled down the window and goes, "Nice dog, fag!" I fucking lost my shit. It's because it's a fucking Adam Sandler movie joke. Oh, God, that's the fucking funniest thing. Nice dog, faggot.
Your dad just happily stumbles into ridiculous situations.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
We should talk about Lain more.
Was your dad being particularly gay in that moment?
Yes, he had that dog,
Oh, it's just a dog.
It's a small gay dog.
I should wear my dad before he gets bullied by a bunch of middle schoolers.
Does he have a tiny dog?
What's that?
Does he have a tiny dog?
Yeah, he's got that little one still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Careful.
He's gonna get bullied.
Nice dog, faggot. That is such a funny thing to say to someone. Fuck.
That middle schooler got laid after he said that.
Hell
That shit
yeah.
killed him on the bus.
Yes, yeah, everyone was like,
He's like, damn, that guy is a faggot. And
that
he's a
guy,
nice
that you
dog.
just killed that guy.
It's a miracle he didn't fade into the ether after getting got so hard. Anyway,
I was thinking about that on the drive here. Imagine being a kid now. I know that no kids listen to this, or at least I hope they don't. But I'm just thinking out loud. If you're a kid and you have the entire year off of school and you're not making it into the craziest adventure shit ever, you are fucking up. Because
really.
This must be the wildest year ever.
If you don't find an alien this year, you're a loser.
If you don't stumble upon a crater full of mysterious goods behind your family home this year.
It stopped recording seconds ago. Okay, save it.
Oh my God! I'm not editing this. I can't. And it's part 3.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're a kid 9 to 13 years old, you should be going on crazy adventures. And I know most of them are probably playing Fortnite, which is really depressing me, so I don't want to think about it.
Getting into a very uncomfortable. Hello. Hello. There it is.
All right. It's okay, everyone. He didn't say anything important.
Never do. Anyway, that's my secret, Declan.
Yeah, your cat backwards. That's good.
Is I just never say anything important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At this point in your life, as a 9 to let's say 14-year-old,
sure,
you should be going on crazy adventures, whereas I, as a mid-20s something, should really be finding love and finding the person that I'm going to inevitably marry in my later years.
But that's more difficult with weird.
That's right.
With quarantine measures, when you're just not doing school anymore, and you're fucking 10. I wonder what the fuck those people are gonna turn out like. Maybe they'll be awesome, or maybe they'll be just fucking a disaster. I genuinely have no idea.
Well, I was thinking about it, Declan. I was thinking babies are fucked because
Wait.
But babies just hold on. Oh, goddamn. Babies are just constantly around adults or humans who are wearing masks all the time.
You're pretty quiet right now.
So they're gonna lose the ability to read faces.
I don't think that's true.
That's facts. And anyway,
they're not wearing masks in their own houses.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, just hold it the same distance from your face.
Well, I don't know why the volume is so fucked now. Anyway,
oh my God, the bats! You probably heard that bat. What
yeah.
the fuck, dude?
Is
it raining?
So I should. Yeah, it's a little sprinkle.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I should be meeting my beloved and falling in love, but instead I'm just in the woods getting drunk with my boy.
Same thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a clown nose honk. What the fuck are these bats doing?
Oh, I forgot to mention fucking Pennywise is hanging out here in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
My flashlight. This is fucking with me.
He's gonna be hanging a balloon.
Hey, shut up! You're scaring me. Hey, stop honking.
See, it lives off of your fear.
No honking. There's a fine.
We live in clown world. We accept it. We know that we live in clown world.
If it actually starts raining, seriously, we got to go in.
Of course.
This is the lightest drizzle ever. Okay.
What were we talking about? Internet,
we do actually talk about Lain.
Yeah.
Because we watched it, and so its studio is I have a Triangle Staff.
Oh.
They were defunct in 2002.
Makes sense.
They did this in Macross Plus and Nia 7 once again. You can tell. I have no idea how this got made. This is insane.
Well, in my reading on the Wikipedia page, the producer of it described it as an incredible risk.
No fucking shit.
It would be like
this
putting
is
out
inscrutable to me who has been knee deep in internet esoterica for the majority of his life.
Yeah, you're a human adult.
And this is crazy that someone thought this up.
It is Lynchian. And
I believe that.
And it's like Lynchian internet media, basically. Whereas Lynch would never touch anything related to the internet. This is very much
he would know. Like I'm not
of that ilk. He's like, I don't understand. I've just got silly hair and I like coffee.
Today we're making The Wired.
Yeah. But it's a really ambitious piece of media by that, where it's like that's something that you have to be pretty foolhardy to give that a shot, but for whatever reason it fucking works. I think, by my reckoning.
Yeah, so every episode starts the same.
Present day, present time.
Yes, and he has a very smug laugh.
Motherfucker.
There's an opening. The
opening's so Alanis Morissette. It's like fucking so 90s.
Yeah, this show is it's a lot of 90s things sort of mashed together. It's like industrial.
Yes.
It's like internet fear. It's like transhuman accelerationism and drum and bass. It's like club. It's like European club raving and like Half-Life.
Oh yeah, big time.
It's all of those things. So you can see a lot of like 90s stuff while it's still very unique, but there's a lot of somewhat typical things.
It's like the nexus of that. It's like the just take all of those kind of stereotypes and mash them up into one really delicious ball. It's like it's really consumable regardless. I don't feel like I'm ever rolling my eyes at it because it's got so much over me at any point in time.
Yeah, and it's mostly cell animated, except for the parts where they have to do weird digital stuff, and then it becomes digital. So I watched this on there's a Blu-ray remaster, so you can tell when it switches. Like the opening's all digital because you can tell because there's no grain and it's very smooth pannings and stuff. But opening very famous, very very alternative rock. The soundtrack is all over the place. Like it's drum and bass and it's like alt rock and there's like acoustic guitar and just every 90s thing you could think of. But every episode has a title that's said by this computer guy.
This fucking Apple.
And he's not able to pronounce English words very well. But the first one is weird. I like the one where there's a lot of funny episode titles. There's Religion, which he pronounces Worijon.
Yeah.
And there's Society. That one's funny.
These episode titles are also not necessarily indicative of the content.
No,
like maybe vaguely, or like a vague Japanese grasp of what the English word means.
It's parallel. It's involved somehow, but Yeah, and every episode starts with the same series of shots where it's like a city street and there's a bunch of bokeh, bunch of out of focus lights.
Very well rendered.
Yes, they put a lot of effort into that because they knew they would be repeating it 13 times. The doors flinging open?
I've determined that it's wood. It's like a woodworm.
That's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. Woods. There's I was getting Steins Gate vibes because it's very just like
Haven't consumed Steins Gate
hot
yet.
city. And there's I'm trying to remember. I've been watching this for a while. I'm trying to remember what happened. I have Whoa Sassy Girl. I remember who was sassy. But a girl jumps off a roof basically in this first episode.
Chisa.
And that doesn't come back till later. But that's sort of relevant for the rest of the show.
Well, it's because the reason that the girl jumps off the roof is because she doesn't feel like she needs to live in this world anymore.
Yeah, she probably says
which is a
something about
motif. That's a motif throughout the whole thing. Is the
this world doesn't matter.
really exist, or the physical world is insignificant in the grand scheme of the overall reality.
Yeah. So Lain is Lain's our main character. Go figure.
Lain is also like 3 or 4 characters throughout the show.
I mean, there's like 2, but one of them's wild. Yeah, Lain is a beloved character, and I see why. She's very she's very doteable. She's just a helpless little blob of fucking. Trans people love Lain.
Understandable.
If you've been on Twitter,
quite androgynous.
Probably about like 60% of trannies have a Lain avatar. They fucking can't get it because it's like she's pretty androgynous. She's very plain featured. She has like a round kind of. She's an anime girl, so she's extremely cute. But in like canonically, she's probably pretty gross. Like she has like kind of a round chin. Really like pale, kind of gross gray skin.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah, pretty plain hairstyle except for the side braid that she's got.
Take her. You can have her. Fuck it.
I do love how when they draw her from far away, she has these like perfectly straight, like stubby legs, and I love them so much. She's so fucking
eaten
cute.
up by mosquitoes right now.
God, they like you more than me.
I'm gonna respray.
Okay,
I'm talking.
Spray yourself. Are they mosquitoes or are they?
They're mosquitoes. They're mosquitoes.
Okay, they're out. Because when we got here, we were immediately swarmed by these horrifying like horsefly things. And I don't know if that's actually what horseflies are.
Yeah, my legs are eaten up. You might want to re-up soon.
I'm fine for now. I just re-upped a few minutes ago. Or, before we started.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's going downwind towards you, isn't it?
That's good. That's in as much as I can get.
Okay.
Alright. How did blowing on my screen change the... That was weird. The bat noises are... I can't believe... It's like...
I don't think they're bats, man.
What is it?
I think it's woodworms.
They squeak?
Yeah. Well, they're going through incredibly tight areas.
Yeah, so that's Lain. She's like very ineffectual, but weird stuff's happening to her. And she starts talking with this dead girl. And also very famous in the show, the bear suit. Very important.
Yes, but didn't appear as frequently as I thought.
But it appeared very soon, is what I was surprised by. Like first episode, she's in the bear suit. I thought there would be a reason for that.
Nope.
She just wears it.
She's comfy at home.
Yeah, she's just in the bear suit. So she's got parents. They're like weirdly
disaffected.
Yeah, not present really. They're like there, but they're not really paying attention to her. It's kind of
Her
weird.
dad's very absorbed with his computers, and her mom is just kind of out of it, like drugged up almost.
The mom is like
medicated.
basically an automaton. The dad actually kind of comes back later. He becomes
right.
a more supportive character than you would expect, but he likes computers, and computers are called Navi in this world.
Navi, yeah.
Navi. And she decides... what's the impetus? She decides she wants a newer one because hers is old and busted.
Because people have been receiving emails from this dead girl.
Right, yes. So, the girl who committed suicide is... People are getting emails from her. Everyone assumes it's a prank.
You know, the setup almost seems Persona-esque to me. It seems like the setup for a Persona game.
Yeah, like local mystery. Like I said, Steins Gate vibes. This show, one of the biggest... the Steins Gate series... Or, you said, like, this was, like, almost setting itself up as an anthology. That's kind of like the Steins Gate is paired up with...
Robotics Notes
and Chaos Head and...
Gotten some Chaos Head recently.
Whoa!
Aye.
And, Occultic 9. Yeah, that one.
Okay. What is it, semicolon?
Yeah, the semicolon series. And
as opposed to the full colon series.
The coolest thing about that series is the integration of real conspiracy theories into the plot in a series. Like Steins Gate, like John Teeter plays a serious role in Steins Gate, which is fucking so good.
The time traveler man who was on forums in the 90s or whatever.
Yeah, which normally would be like whatever, but he was on an obscure time travel forum, which why did that exist? And he spent months explaining in
super
autistic
early
detail
ARG stuff.
Yeah, explaining in ridiculous detail exactly how his time travel machine worked and posting pictures and
corroborating with real world information.
He had knowledge of quantum physics and he had unpublicized information about the IBM 5100.
Right.
So really cool stuff, and they go into that in Steins Gate, and the main character has to find an IBM 51. Steins Gate's really good. Anyways, they probably took from this. So she wants to get a new computer. Dad's like, hell yeah, which is how
you're interested in my thing.
Which is how most dads, will probably react to their daughters wanting a computer.
It's gonna be different when I have my daughter, and she's gonna come to me and say, Father, I'd like a computer, and be like, what is this pagan speak that you're talking of? Because you don't know what electricity is because I've raised you in the goddamn woods.
We're Mennonites. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's pagan talk. Speaking of Mennonites, I really hope that Mennonites end up building a cabin here. That'd be sweet. Another one.
Sure. Yeah. Why not have a second one? I don't know.
Fuck it. That's so. We're on the ground that my grandfather and great grandfather built a cabin upon 75 years ago, and I hope that my current father ends up deciding to just trick this bitch the fuck out. Wouldn't that be nasty?
It's like in Mr. Deeds when he's got the water fountain with the Hawaiian punch. Like, ooh,
it is exactly like that. Yeah. Anyway, back to your very
idea of luxury.
Yeah. Anyway, your very coherent, well thought out comparisons to other pieces of media.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing that kids do in this show is they go to ecstasy clubs.
I want to go to that club so fucking bad. Siberia.
Siberia.
That shit looks fucking awesome. Fun. Oh, first of all, the music's great.
They play one song.
It's a ripper,
and it's ripping, and it's great. And some guy in this club takes this spiky computer drug, and remember in the early episodes of the show when it had this weird rainbow text narration? Where instead of...
Got you a bug, you fucker.
Instead of, that's how it would tell you someone's thoughts, it would cut to a rainbow and text
I remember.
Of someone's thoughts. And I was like, oh boy, I hope this doesn't keep going. It didn't, actually, which is weird. But I'm glad it...
Yeah, it's like an internal monologue sort of filter thing.
And he's like, I'm accelerated. So,
I want what he's having.
I'll have what he's having.
This horrible medieval-looking ass fucking. It looks like the bomb that fucking Master Chief throws off of the spaceship in Halo 2.
It's a spiky ass piece of metal.
Yeah.
And this is when Lain's in this club with her friends, and this is the first time we see her get snippy. And
Oh, yes.
We're not sure why. But this guy shoots himself in the head, and her and her friends like, oh, that was weird.
She's not as tuned in. She's kind of having like a dissociative moment.
Yeah, it's just like, this is a weird thing that's happening to me.
Yeah.
A lot of the episodes start out with like her, like the outside of her house is portrayed as like a pure white space with a door.
That's correct.
And
Yeah,
she
this
walks-
insanely high contrast area.
She walks, and all the shadows, whenever it cuts to like a public, like a street, all the shadows are this crazy, splotchy, psychedelic space pattern.
Yeah, you know how like in certain studio that did Bakemonogatari.
Shaft.
Certain Shaft shows, they'll have a pattern that'll overlay over top of things.
Yes.
That pattern, in this show, they overlay a pattern that's incredibly psychedelic looking, and it's very drippy and goopy, that'll be like into shadows or whatever.
Speaking of overlay, how about that humming?
Right.
How about that whir?
There's a whir whenever, and they'll cut to like telephone lines or electrical lines. Or
Always telephone poles. Yep. And it keeps doing
I
it.
fucking respect it.
No, it's a good noise.
I respect that shit.
From the country that
hard.
brought you telephone poles and cicadas, presents telephone poles and drone.
Yeah, it's like in the 80s there was like a huge rush on African pygmy music.
Wait, what?
And then in the 90s there's a huge rush on Japanese
I
ambient
bless the rain.
noises.
So she's always walking down this pure white space with these little stubby legs. This is so great.
Look, motherfucker. It makes me feel what the show is saying the entire time is like, look, you son of a bitch.
Your physical body doesn't matter.
Look. You better fucking tune in, otherwise you're gonna get lost. Because if you tune out for even a second, you're gonna find yourself backing up to figure out what the fuck just happened. And even then, it's probably not gonna make much sense. Yeah, no, the physical world doesn't matter. And even from the very beginning, I can't believe this thing exists and is also popular.
I mean,
is it an illusion? Is it an illusion? Are people pretending to get it? Or are people
I don't know if anyone
getting
pretends to get it. No, I mean, it's just it's a classic, but like, it's just a classic that I doubt a ton of people have seen, and it's like no one has any idea what's happening in here.
I get it.
I sort of get it, I guess, but it's just so. It's like show don't tell to the most extreme possible. Where I think it's not telling you anything. It's like showing you some stuff, and you're like, okay,
well, there's no linear narrative. It doesn't exist. There is no point A to point B.
There are a bunch of characters who have like 1 or 2 scenes, and their whole point is just to die, and like a couple of them get brought back in the last episode to have some closure, which is really cool. But it's like stuff keeps happening. You're watching the show, and it's like, fuck, dude. And the internet is visually portrayed in a way that's totally inconsistent. Where sometimes it's a bunch of floating like polygonal fractals, and sometimes it's like a physical space where Lain is floating, and sometimes it's an Alice in Wonderland like Isekai. And sometimes it's just a screen that you're sitting in front of and like drooling, and you have no idea what The Wired actually is. And I guess it doesn't matter in the end, but you don't really share the protagonist's experience that much. You have no idea.
You're experiencing it from the point of view of somebody who would be in her world.
Yeah, it's like watching someone get absorbed by something that they totally lose track of the real world in, because we have no idea what Lain. We have very little knowledge of what Lain is like seeing or hearing. It's like we just know that she's like really fucking into this internet, son.
Well, I think esoteric is the only adjective I could possibly use. It's like the fucking Ulysses of anime. As fucking lame of a comparison as that is, it's like, look, you something, bitch. I can't explain Lain to you. You genuinely need to watch it for yourself to have any chance of understanding. And I loved it. I got my own interpretation of it, as experiencing it. But the moment-to-moment action, I read the Wikipedia article after I was done. You just see what's the summation of all these episodes, and it's like a quarter of what you experienced the whole time while watching it. It's like you can't even really accurately sum it up.
Yeah, I read a review where it was like it said it was about Lain, who is a girl who is marching towards digital martyrdom, which I guess
it's a weak take.
It's like immediately she's seeing like a copy of herself, and you don't know what's up with that, and remember when she was just seeing like ghost cyber skinwalkers in her school?
Yeah.
Those don't really come back, do they? But it's very creepy.
It's just fuck. And that's another thing I would also have to say is
that was one of the.
There's unnerving shit in this. How about when there's just a fucking alien?
Yeah, I forgot. This is like pretty much a horror show. Like this.
Yeah.
This is the closest. It presents itself as this like cyber '90s fucking industrial tech show, but it's the closest thing to an effective horror anime that probably exists. There's shit in these early episodes that was like genuinely really fucking unnerving.
It's because you have no bearings.
Yeah.
You have just enough to feel like you have a grasp of things, and then they throw horrific shit at you, and you have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah,
How the fuck am I supposed to deal with a gray alien wearing a striped T-shirt?
I mean, that's later, and that's just wild. But in episode 2, I think. She's walking down a school hallway, and she just sees this fucking thing standing there, and then it zooms in on its face, and its face is all like shifting in a weird way.
Yeah.
And then the scene where her sister goes insane is like really like freaky, where she's in a bathroom and there's all these noises, and she closes the stall door, and it's telling her to fulfill the prophecy. No idea what that was about, but she's never the same after that.
The fucking sister never comes back.
No.
She doesn't come back from the brink
until the last episode. But no. Wait, it never really. No, she never really. Yeah, she's fucked up.
The sister's lost. She gets destroyed.
She's a mongoloid for the rest of the show. Like,
she sits in a corner babbling.
Yeah.
It's uniquely fucked up. and if any Westerner made this shit, they would be discarded immediately if their name wasn't David Lynch. It's like, well, this is incoherent. And here's the thing is that I appreciate it and I love it. I was genuinely unnerved. And here's the thing is like, by my reckoning, I don't even know where we're at in our analysis of the overall arc of the show. But to me, this is a show about God coming to terms with the fact that God can't necessarily make everything perfect for everyone. And that interfering with our world will create its own sort of issues, and you just have to let it happen. Because she's revealed to be a sort of cyber god. Because she's a program that is designed to create an interface between this new internet protocol and the real world.
Yeah.
And she is, in a way, a god. And she has a friend. She has one friend throughout the course of the show. Arisu.
She has a group of friends, but the main one is Alice.
And towards the end of the show, she makes the decision to help Alice out, because Alice had an embarrassing revelation that I guess another version of Lain created, where it was revealed that Alice was into this teacher.
That was another thing I was really confused about that they don't explain at all. Is there's an episode where, the ending is the point is that we get sort of a view of Lain's like powers because she resets everyone's memories. But the problem is that everyone in the school is staring at Lain, and I couldn't figure out why. And that was the one episode where I actually had to look up the Wikipedia article because they were talking about this rumor, and I couldn't figure out what the rumor was because the rumor seemed to be something about her friend Alice and this teacher, but I couldn't figure out why everyone was pissed at Lain. And I was like, there's no way they would write something as complicated and as weird as there was a rumor about a rumor that made the rumor that made everyone hate her was that she started the rumor about this other girl jerking off to a teacher, which, while completely inscrutable, is the realistic situation, because if you went around telling everyone about how this girl, like, schlicked to a male teacher, instead of being, like, scandalized, they'd all just be like, what the fuck, go away, weirdo. But the fact that they put that and wrote it into a show is crazy, because I don't know how I was supposed to pick up on that.
So Lain makes the decision to fix this because she sees herself as responsible. Because another version of Lain, I guess, leaked this information. So
at some point it becomes apparent that the stuff that Lain is doing in The Wired is not the stuff she wants to do, and she is worried about it because she's starting to think it's another person. And I don't know if it is.
So Lain resets everybody's memories, which is haunting to Alice because she has to live with the fact that that she experienced this. The trauma already happened. The memory of everybody else isn't the issue. It's the trauma that she experienced when everybody realized it. And to me, that was supposed to be a statement on, like, how a god would, this is to say that I'm even speaking about the way that a god should act speaks to what this show is talking about. It's pretty out there, you know, but, like, a god would not necessarily want to directly involve itself with the relations of man because they would end up fucking things up more, is what I was supposed to, basically what I was taking away. I don't even know if I'm coherently really explaining what I feel here, but she is effectively God in this world because she's able, and that's another thing we get to when we meet God, in air quotes, is the role that you have when you're able to interface with the real world as somebody who has control over the Navi or whatever, or the Wired. That's a whole fucking thing in and of itself.
That guy's cool. He's got face paint.
I like his face paint.
He's got a cool design. Yeah,
quirky looking master.
He's the the antagonist. You only get to see him for 2 or 3 episodes though. Although he is like a floating ball of like mercury at some point. Episode 3 is called Psyche, but the guy pronounces it Shuke, which I liked. Maybe I'm the only one who pays attention to this. Did you notice how often the pupil sizes changed in the show?
Oh yeah, they really dial in on them, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they get really close.
And sometimes they're just all the way. Yeah, that's I don't know. That was fun. Yeah, she's getting spied on. Episode 4 is Woe Region. There's episode. Like, you know, in some of the earlier episodes have like sort of self-contained plots. Like episode 4 is about this like shooting game that accidentally gets combined with a kids game.
That's right.
So a bunch of people end up shooting children. So that, you know,
that's a very reasonable take on it, but getting to that conclusion is a very circuitous process. Because there's a whole bunch of shit going on in that episode. There's like, that's a take you can have for sure. Mm-hmm. And I get how you get to that point.
That's the one where she goes into the Wired and she sees all the puppets that have her face and are like shaking around. That's weird.
Jesus fucking Christ, this show.
Oh yeah. So much of the show takes place in the nightclub. Did not see that one coming.
The nightclub's fucking bitching though. I want to go to Siberia super hard.
Yeah. I tried to look up places called Siberia, and I couldn't really find any, or not any nightclubs, anyways. At some point, she could just start like telepathically communicating with people, there's this group called the Knights.
Yes.
And the Knights are like a digital cult, and their goal is well, you don't really know, but the point is that they're pro-wired. They want everything to be wired. They think the wired's the real world, and the real world's bullshit. So that's what they're up to. Yeah, and she thinks you're led to believe that the Men in Black are the Knights, but then they kind of, I think they're not. She's having these. The dad, she is talking to her dad still, and the dad is talking about how the Wired isn't the real world, and she rebukes him, so she's starting to get absorbed, and So, I mean, we're in like episode 4, and there's already like just disembodied conversations, and there's men in black outside her house, and she telepathically like destroys their glasses they're always wearing. Episode 5, like, oh yeah, like we're like this is where I was thinking like how is this show gonna keep going, because self-driving cars go insane, and then Lain shows up on the TV everywhere, and everyone sees her, and they're like, what?
Yeah, because they'll just be in the Shibuya, and they'll see her on the TV.
And she gets an ominous note about either Hell or the Wired being overcrowded.
That's right.
Which,
Jesus fucking Christ,
what's his
man.
face stole for Dawn of the Dead. So it's like, jeez, man, there's a prophecy.
Dude.
And then she's talking to all these weird floating things, and they make pretty good points. I don't remember what they were. But also, the thing I knew about this show was that her computer keeps getting more and more crazy, and by episode 6...
I love that. The motif of her room becoming increasingly mechanized.
It's very, very steampunk. Like, there's just a pool of liquid in her room. Like, she's just...
And it's not ruining anything.
Through.
That's part of the computer.
Somehow that's just in there, yeah. Like, she's cooling it with, like, liquid nitrogen, but also there's, like, she's just in a pool of water in her whole room.
Oh my fucking god. This show's the goddamn wildest shit.
Yeah. It's because, like, and we don't even see it, but apparently the crazier your computer is, the more into the wired you can be. But there's no, like, you don't see that happen. You don't, like, you can just tell that she's getting more into it because of how she's acting. Like,
this is the least amount of information that you could possibly give to an audience and hope that they keep up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could give people less information than this and hope that they keep up at any point.
Yeah, totally.
There's nothing. There's
no way.
This is, if you want to study how minimal of a narrative you can have, this is it.
This is the minimum acceptable
yeah.
level, I'm going to say.
Yeah. There's nothing beyond this.
Acceptable.
There's nothing beyond this. This is the end.
Yeah.
This is if you think you're like, my piece of media is too obscure, compare it to Lain. And if your piece of media is more obscure than Lain, reset. Try fucking again, because this is it.
Yeah. Episode 6. Oh yeah, everyone just sees her in the clouds, which at that point I was like, okay, now things will never go back to normal, because everyone just saw her face like Monty Python God poking out of the fucking clouds. And at the end of that episode, she finds this old guy in the Wired who is this scientist who made an experiment to like sort of make like a cluster of children and their psychic abilities in like a lab, and ended up killing all of them. But apparently they were good at being psychic. So she talks to him for a bit, and he had to smash the experiment because it was too rad. So, but then the details got leaked onto the Wire. Now someone else is doing something similar. I don't know what that was about, really. And then the sister is still just like literally non-verbal halfway through the show.
And nobody's reacting to this.
No, the parents don't care about anything.
Lain is so dissociated she couldn't possibly parse that if she wanted to.
Yeah. There's a guy walking around. So episode 7 sets up a bunch of like mini characters. There's like a crazy guy walking around the city with like a bunch of tech shit.
That motherfucker, yeah, with a VR headset.
There's a business guy. There's housewife. There's delivery man.
These are all the knights.
And you find out later they're all members of the Knights who somehow use these like chips that get delivered to them to kill people. Again, you don't know how. They don't show it.
It's fuck
They'll
you.
just show
It's fuck you.
They'll just show a guy like surrounded by cyber shit, and then he dies, and then it'll cut to like a laptop on a kitchen counter covered in blood. And it's like,
fuck you if you don't understand this Topal.
Okay,
fucker.
man.
Yeah.
The most 90s thing about the show, the fonts. Really. The fonts are wild. Like the text that they print the word Lain in a whole bunch in the opening,
Yeah.
where it's like almost Aztec, but I don't know the name of it.
Or the font that they use all the titles in.
Yeah.
Religion.
Yeah. That's something about some fonts. Are just really great teacher in Izuka. Same thing. So they established there's a bunch of high influence people and also low influence people in the Knights. It's
There's like a child. There's a child who has some sort of information about it who goes to the Siberian nightclub. This little boy.
I love all the little outfits they put Lain in. She's so loved. Sometimes she's in only a sweater, a big sweater.
Yeah. I like her in the nightgown.
That's great.
Yeah.
When she's in the wire, she's floating in the clouds. She loves it.
Boy.
In her
This
school
Lain.
uniform, she wears her skirt the longest, and she's got those tiny little stub legs, like I was talking about. Do you remember the words appearing on the? It's a computer show, so there's a lot of random text appearing on the screen. And one of them was "come on in," and "come" was spelled C-U-M.
It was supposed to be some sort of pornographic deal. Yes.
I guess. Sure.
Yeah. I was hoping that would be the thumbnil for this episode.
It was like Lain in only a sweater, and that said "come on in." That was very funny. So she talks to this trans stripper about 5G and about how it's dangerous, and her parents have gotten really weird. Besides just her sister, her
Mom
parents,
is just gone.
Her parents are just sitting there, like staring, giving her the cold INTJ stare, and that's the rumor episode. Her friends all suspect her of something, and everyone in the school is mad at her. And it was a rumor about a rumor. Weird conception for a plot. And now
We probably need to go inside if it's going to be.
yeah, it's starting to rain a little bit.
Let's see if we can just take our stuff inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe one of our recordings will stop. Let's find out.
Maybe this might be the last you hear from us folks. Okay, let's go.
Okay. I'm not going to stop it. I'm just
No, don't stop it. Of course, I don't want to edit 4 parts.
if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
Where's the other one? Light up, please.
Have fun listening to this noise.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still going.
We're rolling.
Sick. Okay. What are we talking about? Lain?
Lain, I think.
Okay.
We're talking about the Knights.
Mm-hmm. Episode 9, there's an alien.
There's
Episode
a
9 was
fucking
like,
alien
hey,
in that. Four Roses?
It was like the director was like, I want to put a conspiracy theory I read about in this episode.
He put all of them in.
And they were like, okay, so it's like a documentary, like a chunk of a documentary about Roswell. And then an alien shows up in Lane's room, and that's the end of that. But it's just a gray and like a silly striped sweater.
He's got the Freddy Krueger sweater on.
Smiling at her. Sorry, I'm not supposed to, I forgot. Thing in my hands.
That's alright. Cut to my audio during this. And 4 Roses.
So that doesn't... Another thing doesn't come back. But that's fine. It's a funny thing. What happens? Because you think it's going to be something else. Because everything else is not an alien. That is. But yeah, it's like a documentary, a fake documentary intercut with just scenes from Lain. And they talk about John C. Lilly, who was, the basis for one of our favorite films, Altered States.
One of the best movies ever.
Mm-hmm. And in this one, there's a little boy who's always in the cyber club who she talks to, and in this one she invites him to her house because he's got info, and
he seems to be connected to the Knights in some way.
Right, and he gives her some info, and then he hands off my Lain there, buddy. Okay, he fucking makes out with her. I don't think that was necessary.
She's not even human at this point, bro.
Look, the alien was unnecessary, but I was fine with it. This is not.
You don't accept
you don't have
the
to do
kissu?
this. No.
No kissus for
Absolutely not. They talk about Ted Nelson. He also coined the term dildonics, by the way. It's a good.
He might have coined the term, but I mastered dildonics.
You know what that sounds like?
But my penis.
Yeah.
Can I talk about Malthus really quick?
Which one? What's that?
Malthus, the guy who did all the rat experiments.
Oh, is it the Rat Utopia guy?
Yeah.
Sure.
I was recently informed about whatever Malthus, Professor Malthus, Mr. Malthus, whoever.
You talked to him?
And I had not heard anything about his rat experiments before, but I feel like, in a way, they're somewhat relevant to this discussion of the internet.
Yeah, those experiments were all bullshit.
No, of course they were. Because
Just like the Stanford prison experiment, they're all
the Stanford prison experiment is bullshit because it's like they just didn't want to be there anymore. it's like it doesn't take terribly much thinking to understand why people would be like, maybe if I shock this guy, they'll let me go.
And the rat experiment is like, we gave him unlimited food and space. Like, I don't think you know what unlimited means.
Yeah.
It was like a room.
Yeah, but I was just as a prober myself, which is one of the classifications of rats that he had. A prober is someone who will fuck anything that moves.
Nice. I'm one of the beautiful ones.
Yeah, you're definitely a beautiful one.
I'm grooming myself.
Yeah, you're just at the top floor, and you're not worrying about any of it. You're
not eating, am I sleeping? I'm just licking myself. Love it.
Back to Lain, I guess. I got one out of her.
A little tidbit about the Mouse Utopia.
Look, man, if you want to learn about the Rat Utopia, you'll go look it up yourself. I got exactly what I wanted out of that day.
You wanted to compare yourself to the Prober. That was it. That was the whole point of that anecdote.
What anecdote? It's historical fact.
That's true.
An anecdote would be something that people don't know about.
Right. So she's been talking to this like sort of god in The Wired who is actually this like scientist guy that got killed in his company, and they're about to roll out the 7th gen of The Wired, which uses, instead of using, I guess, like literal wires, it uses the resonance of the Earth itself, which is called the something frequency.
That's a good bullshit explanation, I gotta say.
The something resonance? I don't know.
That's a good bullshit explanation.
Sure.
Because once they explained that, I was sold.
You don't need any equipment? Yeah. So, we meet the god guy, and
he looks dope.
He does look dope, and
he does dope shit.
So Lain, her dad explains that like the jig is up, and they were just pretending to be her family. Like she was planted.
That's some heavy shit.
She's like a witness protection almost, but for a weird cyber being.
He's part of the experiment or whatever that's cultivating her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty fucked up twist. You don't want to have that happen in your life, I think, personally. It's just haunting.
Yeah, like it's like at this point the world is like almost abandoned, it seems like.
And we're not even that far in.
It's like
we have maybe 4 episodes left.
How is there 3 more episodes of this? And then the Knights get fucked because they'll
get killed.
Their shit gets leaked onto the internet, so they all get murked. The Men in Black take out the high-profile business guy. So I guess that was that whole plot thread, you know. So yeah, all the Knights get killed in different creative ways. The Lain is really getting plugged in at this point. You get the famous shot of her with all of like the electrodes clipped onto her.
I like smuggling. When did smuggling happen?
That's in the rumor episode.
Okay. Smuggling's where she got the hair across her face.
That's a funny
great
shot. Yeah. One of the Men in Black is named Carl. And
Karu.
A lot of people start telling Lain that they love her, like the Men in Black talk to her, and they're very businesslike, and then Carl just turns to her and is like, "By the way, I love you." And it's like, "Whoa, dude, Carl, not the mood, man.
I've been there.
But
I've been there. You know, you say some silly shit. You
Sure.
say some silly shit when you're wound up. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I love you.
I love you, 12-year-old girl. Well, I guess she's in high school. Her dad says the same thing, but it's more heartfelt because it's like he just had like this responsibility, but he actually like
He cared
he
about
actually came
her.
to care for her.
He
Whereas
wasn't supposed to tell her goodbye.
the rest of her family is like catatonic.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's talking to him, and then she talks more with God and goes Super Saiyan, and what happens in episode 11? It's I guess I waited like a week, but I sort of remembered what was going on. One of my notes is I would legit recommend this show to normies just to make myself seem smart. Which is actually like a pretty good idea.
Well, yeah, because it's I feel like I've got 80% of a grasp.
Even if you didn't know it was smart, it seems very smart.
Well, I feel like I have a grasp of it, and feeling like I have a grasp of it is significantly lower than knowing for a fact that I know exactly what is being said.
Yeah.
And almost always I know exactly what the fuck is being said at all times. So experiencing a piece of media that there's interpretation involved is a novelty for me, and I feel like they would rock some fucking people's worlds for sure.
Yeah. Oh, she's getting so online at this point. There's like a montage of like this really grungy, cheesy guitar and like disembodied conversations.
I love that
where
guitar.
It's supposed to be. It's
like noodling. They're just noodling improv.
There's no like mood. It's just
No.
like you know.
Is that where it's using all the sequences from her life? That's all like the stuff that we've seen. Is it the montage of things we've seen up until this point?
No, one of the episodes is just like a recap episode. I think that might be 12.
It's 12. Damn, this bourbon's fucking good. We made some good choices.
Hold on. Where the fuck is...
Shout out to Wild Turkey 101.
No, it is episode 11. That is almost a recap episode. Yeah, with this silly guitar. Okay, yeah, you're right. So, but after 9 minutes, it stops being a recap episode, which is good. Although, it goes by. Like, I thought it had been 2 or 3 minutes. It had been 9 minutes.
I watched all of The Legend of Korra in the span of 5 days recently.
Bummer.
No. Joke's on you, fucker.
Even fans of that show don't like that show. There's no way.
No. That's the thing. They're dumb. So my friend was Legend of Korra, sequel series to the Avatar: The Last Airbender, Western animation, done by a Korean studio. I had a friend who had never seen The Legend of Korra, was a big fan of Avatar, so I watched all of it with him before he moved away. Legend of Korra Season 3, the finest work of Western animation ever made.
Okay, man.
The finest work of Western animation made since the turn of the century.
I mean, not the highest bar, but that's still quite a claim.
It's excellent. It's sublime, and people don't like it because they're stupid. It's because I was like, okay, all right, I have my opinion on this. I want to know why people don't like this thing. So I watched an 1.5 hour long review on YouTube, which is like the bottom of the barrel, obviously. But this is like a video that had 5 million views. So everybody that doesn't like the show had their opinion formed by this, basically, I reckon.
Okay.
And it was the most self-contradictory, ridiculous bullshit I had ever seen. And it was clearly people trying to disavow something that was moderately more mature than what they had consumed prior, because they wanted to seem cool. And it was embarrassing. And if you don't think that The Legend of Korra, at least season 3 and 4 are good, you're a loser and I hate you. You don't understand. You don't understand anarchy. You don't understand fascism. Fuck you. Moving on. It's real good. Season 3 is amazing.
I watched like a 15-minute review of The Witness without playing the game. I don't know why I did that, but I understand The Witness really well now.
What is The Witness?
The puzzle game by John...
Oh!
Fucking what? John...
Is that the guy who did Braid?
Yeah, well, Braid Man. Johnny Baldhead. You know.
I thought Braid was okay. The
Witness seems pretty good.
I played
Based on that YouTube video I watched.
I played Braid on my way to a baseball event when I was in 8th grade.
What, like in a car?
Yeah, I was on my laptop. I played Braid.
I get nervous. I get nauseous just thinking about that.
So that's the thing. Oh, also, I went to an amusement park recently. I know we're in the middle of a COVID pandemic, but I went to an amusement park.
Nice.
It was fucking awesome. There was nobody there.
Water park, drink a bunch of the water.
I didn't go to the water park, but I went to an amusement park. There was fucking nobody there.
Cool.
What were we talking about? Oh, Legend of Korra.
You said you were done.
It's fucking real good.
I believe you.
You send me your theses. I'll disagree with you. Moving on.
Lain, yeah, the last couple episodes. Oh no, we're 11. They kind of break the fourth wall by addressing the hum at some point. They play that hum so much. Lain like kind of really analyzes her whole life. That's sort of the excuse for the recap as she goes through like all the scenes of her life. Then she has a damn gun. It's Weathering with You all over again. Yeah.
She's strapped up for a bit.
Now Lain is the alien. I don't know what I meant by that.
She appears in Alice's room as an alien, and she says that she was not the one who leaked this information to everyone about Alice being into the teacher.
That wasn't the same episode.
That's exactly what it is. That's the only possible thing it could have been.
It might.
Lain appears as an alien to apologize to Alice.
Might be
Alice is a linchpin of the last few episodes.
Yeah, Alice takes on a larger role. But she becomes this alien. My notes become, bro, what? I am truly at a loss. This is, it becomes so abstract that it's like, Jesus.
Angry Mage, you've seen Korra, I'm sure.
This is performance. Shut up. No one cares about Korra.
I do. Angry Mage, you've seen it. I know, because you're tuned into LGBT Twitter. I respect it. I understand. I'm with you, fam.
Yeah, I forgot the end of that show on a forced lesbian note.
It's not forced. It's forecasted.
Forecasted by your shipping brain.
Talk to me, Angry Mage.
Fan. Yeah, the dead girl and the club drug guy are back, and at the end of the episode 11 is ridiculous. And in the last couple, let's all love Lain, of course.
That's great.
The Men in Black are lighting one up, and not Carl. The Men in Black, the man in black who's not Carl, just freaks out and dies. I don't remember why.
Yeah, he gets seriously contorted.
Yeah, he's just freaking out on the ground.
Not going well. Not a good day to be that guy.
I don't know. I wrote that doorbell Lamal. What was funny about the doorbell? Something was very funny about the doorbell. I wrote Lamal. I don't know.
You didn't do his due diligence here by recording exactly what was so Lamau about.
I was, of course, I was thinking, well, of course I'll remember this.
Of course! You said when you're fucking 8 drinks deep.
I was on 3 milligrams of Atizalam. I was coming.
Oh my god, is Metal Gear?
What?
You take a Tizalam in Metal Gear.
No, you don't. Do you really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They don't have an obscure benzodiazepine in Metal Gear?
Yeah.
I can't.
They got stims in Metal Gear.
I'm not connected to the internet. I don't know why I thought I could Google that. We're in the woods.
You know that
which Metal Gear?
Tizalam?
Yeah.
4.
Wow. That's an obscure drug for 2008. I'm impressed.
Wish I had Calorie Mates right now. I could smack down.
It's literally just shortbread. You can make it with butter and flour.
No, but which one do you want? Do you want chocolate? Do you want cheese? Do you want vanilla?
I want the nut one. Was that walnut or almond?
The nut one was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's good. It gets stuck in your teeth, but it's good.
Yeah, well, you want it stuck in your teeth because that's residual for later. That's extra calories.
It's efficiency.
Bonus calories.
Yeah. sir, do you want the pork or the beef meal? Oh, it's okay. I got a calorie mate in my molars. It's in my molars for later. Okay. Sure.
I'm Japanese. I don't know where you're speaking English to me, but thank you.
Oh, the moths found the. Is the door open? How did the hell these get in here?
Sometimes moths get in, man.
So Sis comes back. She's still fucked up.
Poor girl.
And Lain, like, really sort of kind of becomes a god here. And the wired god, who was the god before, really freaks out. And starts, like, contorting, and you can probably hear the moth noise.
Sorry, moth. This
Turning your suffering into content.
If you're not somebody who has the brain capacity higher than, like, a goldfish, it's very easy to just immediately compare this to Madoka or instrumentality or anything that's remotely esoteric in your last few episodes.
Anything that's about the connections between people, I could see.
Yeah.
There was something going on in the 90s, man. It was like System Shock, Evangelion, this. Everything was about some kind of collective human.
Have you ever thought about how System Shock is actually what they took from us?
You mean we could have been living in System Shock if it weren't for...
No, we could have played System Shock if we weren't born like 10 years too late.
You can still play System Shock. I played System Shock. It was unplayable because it was a 1990 whatever.
I was thinking about how video games are
bad. Well,
okay. If you look at video games, Citizen Kane happened like 10 years after video games were even developed. The Citizen Kane of video games is Super Mario Bros. For the NES.
Sure.
Where it's like you could pick... Okay. Citizen Kane, if you're like a modern viewer, I could totally understand.
I would call it Cobra Triangle, but sure.
Okay, motherfucker. Citizen Kane. You could
the Citizen Kane of me.
You could watch Citizen Kane right now as a modern adult, and if you have some semblance of patience, you can get through it.
I bet it's a good movie. Yeah,
it's excellent. It's amazing. Declan, you would love it. Super Mario Bros. Is the same way, where it's like if you have a semblance of patience...
I bet that game's pretty frustrating.
Fuck no. I've played it recently. It's so good. It's like... Look, basically, they achieved the near pinnacle of video games 10 years after the conception of video games. They had like that radio scope that they developed Pong on, you know? Yeah. And then they got to Super Mario World. Whereas movies...
Wait, World or Brothers?
Brothers.
Okay. 85.
Whereas movies, it's like, we were still watching videos of, like...
Trains coming at the screen.
Or trains coming at the screen, or horses running 20 years after they conceived of the idea. And yet, here we are, 40 years later, and we still have not figured out how to make a decent video game. It's like...
people were watching.
It's pitiful.
People were watching tapes in the mid '30s where you could see like an inch of a woman's thighs. You're like, whoa, you know.
And obviously that's like a limitation of the medium itself. It's like we don't have the technology to make 3D games yet, but 3D games, we started that shit in the 90s, and even now the best we can muster is something that makes everybody pissed. The culmination of all that we know in video game development is Last of Us 2, which is a game that apparently everybody fucking hates.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a disaster, obviously.
Yeah, and it's what's the last amazing game?
Amazing, you say?
Yeah, what's the last earth-shattering game? Demon's Souls?
Dark Souls is like the last true paradigm shift.
2011?
Yes, 2011.
2011?
I mean, PUBG was pretty cool when it first came out.
PUBG was fucking lit.
Yeah.
Played a whole bunch of people getting drunk on Four Locos and eating burritos.
Water. Ooh. I didn't know you were hurting that bad when we were playing PUBG, man. You should have said something.
Hurting real good.
It hurts so good. I guess
even now you can trace that back to DayZ. That's really that's kind of
But it made it
expanding
not
upon-
like horrible. So
But even DayZ still has like top 5 video game memory for me of all time.
oh yeah, those 2 times we played DayZ, we had like some of the craziest shit happen.
Somebody flew a helicopter into us. Somebody spent 8 years building a helicopter just to crash into a fucking Jeep or whatever.
Or when we were driving through that town and like there were so many zombie models on screen that we didn't think it was possible, and we were like, the trailer someone was in a trailer and accidentally got disconnected. We were like, oh my, we had to go back for something. It was great. It was a it was the type of organic experience that you would hear some fucking marketer talk about in a press meeting and be like, yeah, okay, man, sure, whatever. No more for me. No, stop. I still have some in this cup. No, put it down right now.
Okay.
Fucking
yeah, but like, I just think it's a shame.
Video games?
But when okay, like yeah, that's stupid because I know there are great video games that I haven't played yet. But like when you look at like the pinnacle of video games, it's like Final Fantasy VII is still a relevant game. Final Fantasy VII is built upon one twist.
Yeah.
Fuck, maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I'm ignorant and I need to play Final Fantasy VII to really understand this, but like...
It's just every game is either
it's also inaccessible.
A free-to-play class-based MOBA or a pixel platformer based, about having depression because you had to do homework.
But to me, the greatest games ever made are purely mechanical. But there is at some point there will be integration of mechanics and narrative that will be satisfying, I'm sure. Because it's like...
It's called Ace Combat 4
okay, motherfucker.
and 5. You don't understand. It's like playing Metal Gear if the gameplay was good and the story was...
Metal Gear is the gameplay's the only part that's good in Metal Gear.
Metal Gear, you're going to tell me that Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation plays
PlayStation
well.
1? No, God no.
Okay. Is it good at all then? Is the story good? Is anything about Metal Gear good?
Yeah. Have you seen Escape from New York?
Probably not. No, I don't think so.
You know Snake Plissken?
Yes, yeah. He's in Metal Gear Solid 2. He tends to be Snake Plissken, and he's big. He's Snake.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's like if they didn't have to retcon anything and they thought of everything from the beginning, and also it's like a fun arcade playing game.
Sure.
And it's like, holy shit, it's so good.
It's no Skate 3 though.
No, mechanically it is not Skate. I'll give you that there's more to Skate 3 than most things. But
I've been playing Burnout Paradise.
Yeah, the remaster you got.
I got Burnout Paradise remastered.
Mm-hmm.
I cleared everything on Big Surf Island in 24 hours.
Congrats, man.
It's one of the best games ever.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So what is the goal of a game? Like what is do video games even care about narrative? That's a question. It's
some of them do, obviously.
But do they have to? Is that a fruitless pursuit? Are you just
play through Dark Souls without knowing what the fuck happened?
Are you chasing after film and television by crafting a serious narrative in a video game?
Most games with cutscenes are. Dude, I mean, I'm still so pissed at what they did with God of War, because it's just like you play a game and then it's a cutscene that's like clearly written by people who've just been watching Game of Thrones and The Office, and it's like, god damn, this is so depressing that you took like a somewhat unique thing.
In God of War, you come across the last Spartan the original God of War, I think it's like 2. You come across the last Spartan soldier that exists in the world. You come across the last Spartan soldier that exists, and he's still loyal to you. And it's just like, it's the hypest shit ever. And he's like, oh my god, Kratos, I've been waiting for you.
And I bet Kratos does not care about this.
No, he does. It's the only thing he cares about.
That's great.
Yeah, right. It's like you've served me well. You can experience death now. That you've been loyal to me, and I will release you to a peaceful death.
It's like Suspiria.
And it's amazing.
That's so good.
You know what else I've been playing? I've been playing Halo 3,
Oh yeah, that just came out.
Halo 3 just came out on PC.
Mhm.
I just played through a couple missions of that. It's like the most mechanically pure game I've ever played. It cares about nothing else other than itself.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about video games. Video games fucking blow anyway. Why are we talking about this shit?
God of War used to be good, and hearing Brad Shoemaker talk about the new one makes me want to fucking kill him and then myself. I won't, but it makes me want to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
What? Do they have a choice? I don't think they have a choice. They don't have a choice. I get it. Like they started their own website, but they don't have a choice. Everybody that
there's a choice, but there's an easier choice.
They left video game media, but all of their friends are still in video game media. Everybody that they talk to on a daily basis is
everyone they talk to is a beard dad like Kratos, so they can't say how he's a shitty generic character now.
Yeah.
Anyways, the end of Lain is she somehow, it's like a reset ending. She erases her existence, and everyone sort of, we get all of these sort of loose ends. Not all of them. Some of the loose ends. The last episode is a lot of loose ends sort of getting tied up, where we see the guy who was God, and he becomes, like, he gets his comeuppance. He's like a lonely salaryman now, and he's angry walking through.
Like a schizophrenic salaryman.
He's
like delusionally rambling to himself about how.
Well, he's just muttering. I mean, that's a way to tell the viewer, but he's talking about how he's going to quit his job because it sucks so bad. But the Men in Black, they somehow have kept. They've continued. They have their memories. Or something weird's going on where they're still observing him because they're suspicious of him. But they're still around. Did we see her sister? Who else do we see? We see the kids. One of the kids has a gun. It's a cool phone. That gun phone is cool.
The phone gone's pretty nuts. Gun phone, not fun gun.
Her friend. Whatever.
I said fun gun.
Oh, you did. I don't know if who else do we see? It's like,
we see all the major characters.
Do we see the dead housewife lady? Does she? Okay. I was thinking like it would be cool if they brought her back.
No.
Okay. But Alice, we see Alice and she's grown, so it's like sometime in the future she has a boyfriend.
Bitch, I'm grown.
We might have. I don't know if the boyfriend is someone we've seen before.
Nope.
Probably not. But she has a brief conversation with Lain, like a sort of. I'm not going to say which shows end like this, but the way a lot of shows end, where it's like you sort of recognize a person, but you don't know why. Your Name. You've seen Your Name. That's not a spoiler.
Sure.
One of those. Sort of fate, like something.
Your Name's a little bit more definitive.
I love stories where girls become everything, which is why Lucy, as you know, one of my favorite movies of all time, unironically, genuinely, is an ironic. A satirical inversion of that's perfect. And Madoka, and this is one of those where instead of Madoka becoming the concept of hope, Lain becomes
Let's kill a mosquito with bare hands.
I don't know.
Massacring mosquitoes right now.
Yeah, I don't know what she does, but everyone's shit gets unfucked.
Takes the big L for everybody else.
Yeah, she has sort of a crisis. She doesn't know who she is or where she is, but then she decides that's A-okay. Or something. I don't know, man.
You're going to have to watch Lain for yourself and find out what happens in the next episode of Lain.
You have to love Lain.
I do. I respect it immensely. I don't know if it's an anime that I could truly love. I don't know if I'll ever let it get close enough to myself where I feel like I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect it immensely. It's one of the craziest pieces of media I've ever consumed. And I don't say that hyperbolically. And I don't say that lightly. I've seen some real bullshit. I've seen some fucking real bullshit.
All these fucking mindfuck whatever shit. I watched Perfect Blue and I was like, yeah, okay, it's pretty...
Perfect Blue is a psychological thriller.
Yeah, but it's like, that's very... I was very, I had a handle on that the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just like fucking... And the last episode really got me good because it's just like... It's extremely touching. You don't even really know why, but it's like she's almost...
She makes a sacrifice, but you don't understand what it is.
But yeah, it's almost like the conclusion. It's like Madoka. which sort of ends on like this epitaph where it talks about how, like, it's almost like the thesis of the show is that it's this conjecture that this is a real person or being, where it's sort of trying to break the third wall, and where it's like it's literally talking to you, where it's like this person is actually looking out for you, or something.
Well, that's where I was
like,
thinking about the Lain as God things earlier.
Yeah.
Lain makes the decision
kind of
to become the
deity.
God that she needs to be.
Yeah.
And that's, again, I can't even necessarily quantify exactly what that means, but what it means to me is I was deeply moved.
Yes. If they are able to do that, I don't know how. Whatever.
It's an incredible tightrope to walk, and I pity anybody who ever tries to do this shit again. Because you won't.
Good luck making Despera, you fuck.
Yeah, this shit's absolutely fucking bonkers.
It really is.
And it might be the only thing that has ever lived up to its reputation, ever. Evangelion, you might disagree. To me, Evangelion might live up to their reputation, but, like, I watched it when I was 14, so, you know, like, good luck.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, this is really one of the first shows where I was like, damn, my bean's been freaked. My mind's been...
Oh, serious brain freak time for sure.
My mind's been fugged.
Yeah.
Good going. I can't imagine a normal... Like, you've seen...
It's not cheating!
I can't imagine, like, I've seen My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer.
Other anime I might like.
Let's watch Serial Experiments Lain, which is like a secret, like, horror psychological show.
It might be the most mature anime I've ever seen.
No, again, yeah. What the main point? No idea how this could possibly. I can't imagine an environment where this could get made, and it almost turned me into one of these guys where it's like, yo, fuck Moe! What the fuck is it? Realism! What the fuck is this? Lain!
It's I had a thought, but it's gone now. Fuck you. Yeah, I'm just I'm admiring it, and I appreciate it. And you're a wild motherfucker for even trying.
I want to protect it.
Yeah, it needs to be protected. Yeah, god damn it! I had a really
Remaster looks really good.
I had a really good thought. It's gone now.
If you think of it, you can turn the recording back on. I already got 8 parts to mash together.
It's the most mature anime I've ever seen.
Yeah. That is true.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating. There's cheating. When you're crafting a narrative, there's a level of obscurity that you can do that it is cheating. Where you, as a creator, don't have any idea what's going on. And I can fucking tell. If you're making something and you have no idea what you're doing, I can see, motherfucker. So you can't fool me. But with Lain...
This guy was like, yo, I got some shit to say.
Yeah, and it's like, motherfucker, boy does he ever. It's a fucking egg. Can't even lie. Like... You're not cheating. I can tell. This is real. This guy is coherent.
This guy was bewildered by the informational age, and I feel it.
You're an 150 IQ person who did not understand the internet, and I get it, dude.
Like, I'm a genius and I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. I get it 100%. I respect it. It's masterful. It's not one of my favorites. But it's one of the best works of animation I've ever seen. Fuck you for making it.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
I like it. It's good.
I don't know if I like it, but it's definitely good.
Kampai. You have anything even over there?
I have part of this beer left.
Kampai. Cheers. We went as far as possible away from the wire to record this episode, so you couldn't influence.
In the middle of nowhere, yeah. No 5G waves, no nothing. I'm gonna try to produce some more content for this woods trip. I gotta make more posts to Twitter. Anyways, that's enough conversation. We really have to go to sleep because we're even more trash than when we started.
Video games are actually good. I'm sorry if I made fun of them.
They're pretty bad. Trust me.
Sometimes they're bad.
No, they're all, dude. I watched the PS5 conference.
What's going on at the PS5 conference?
Nothing good.
What do you mean? You probably have an new Crash Bandicoot.
Everything is so hideous and so
Wait, because they're chasing after an audience that's like 0.5% of the population.
I mean, it's... God, yeah, no, there was that great Twitter thread about how, what's the clothing company that just filed bankruptcy? Most famous. They designed they outfitted every president, except for like 2.
Oh.
And they just went out of business because all their fucking models were albino, trans, like, African.
And I would like to go on record and say, I don't have anything against albino trans Africans,
but there's not a lot of them.
No. And if you look at like the population breakdown, it's still like 45% white or something.
Sell $2,000 suits to fucking fucking those people.
No, it's really a damn shame because again, it's like I don't have anything against those people, but you killed it. It's not your fault. It's because people don't understand. People don't get it. I get you. You're just a person. I ain't got nothing. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. I don't care what your gender is. You guys are chill. But man, I have a hard time finding any just white looking ass motherfuckers in ads for fashion anymore. You gotta find somebody who's got like
cool,
horrible
skinny black guy with a suit. I'm like, ooh, I want this.
Or like a dude who's like who's got like horrible burns all over his face or something. Somebody who's like,
why is every clothing model like having a surprised face as they discover a noose in their garage? Like, I don't need this.
No, they all look like they were generated by they
look like CG
program.
That was the other weird thing about the PlayStation conference is they had this lighting on everyone that made them look CG, which was very unnerving. I could not tell if they were real or not.
I literally didn't even bother watching. I saw. Here's the thing: is that I went the whole generation. I owned one console the entire generation. I guess I owned a Switch, and I owned a first generation Xbone, which got used on eBay for $200 back in 2013.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but like, all I played was Halo, and then now that's on PC. And it's like, I would really love to play Last of Us 2, because apparently it's pretty controversial, and I'd like to weigh in. But maybe I'm not... First of all, nobody cares about what I have to say about Last of Us 2. And second, what does it matter?
Yeah, the reason I was like so depressed by the PlayStation conference is it was like, okay, here's a scripted like tech demo where you're not...
You got a David Cage game?
No, not a literal David Cage game. And then it's like, okay, and also here's like a furry game about being bi in high school or whatever, and the art is fucking abysmal. And here's a remake of Ratchet and Clank. Like, oh my god, dude. And the Ratchet and Clank demo is just another scripted, like you're just going through environment after. It's just to show off how much RAM they have. Because it's like,
look at the level of tessellation in these trees.
It's like, what was the TV show that had you're going through dimensions, and I saw someone pointing out like, oh, this is because they're ripping off this show where
we've gotten to this whole
it's just
point
going over.
I read recently about how somebody really likes those what the fuck, Keanu Reeves movies.
John Wick.
People really like those.
Those seem... I mean, I've heard amazing things from people who I actually trust, but it seems so dumb.
I heard somebody recently say the John Wick movies are cool because they're structured like video games. And that means that people in video games are now taking inspiration from John Wick movies. And it's like... Because those are the biggest movies, you know? It's like, those are blockbusters.
Yeah.
Which means that we're just taking inspiration from things that are taking inspiration from games. And it's like, what a nightmare. That being said, you know, I saw that, you know, a movie I had never seen before. I watched that Nicholas Winding Refn movie.
Only God Forgives.
That's right. That's it. I saw that movie. I'd never seen it before.
I get it mixed up with Neon Demon because it's both the goose, but... Yeah.
Neon Demon's dog shit.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Only God Forgives is dog shit. The Neon Demon's awesome until the last act. Neon Demon's one of the worst... fuck. Only God Forgives is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
That is absolute fucking dog shit. And I'm somebody who has a strong tolerance for bullshit.
Those are different directors, right?
It's all Nicholas Winding Refn.
I just imagine both those movies as the goose walking through neon, and I can't remember what the difference.
The neon demon is Elle Fanning walking through neon.
But the goose is in it, right?
He's in it for a scene or something.
Oh, huh.
But
I thought he wasn't like top billing.
No.
Wow. Huh.
No, you might think of Lost River.
No, there's no way I'm thinking of Lost River.
Which is a film directed by Ryan Gosling, which is actually quite good. But Only God Forgives is complete fucking ass cheeks, and exposes somebody who made like the best top 10 film of the decade in the 2010s. Whereas like The Drive is like objectively one of the most influential films of that decade.
Definitely the most influential. Yes.
And Only God Forgives is fucking complete dog shit. I mean, like it's like I can't even do it justice how bad that movie is.
Did Neon Demon redeem him?
Neon Demon's excellent till the third act.
I
don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm talking about video games. Video games are bad now because I'm old.
I agree.
Look, I picked up. I went over to my friend's place and Skate 3 was playing, and I picked it up and I'm like, oh my god, video games are so good. I'm like, wait a minute, this game came out a decade ago.
Yep.
And then I realized I'm old.
Yep.
And video games will never be the same again.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, man? You look very sad.
Oh, I'm just very drunk.
You should get drunker.
We have to end this podcast.
I'm drinking.
Okay. Kankasaki. Summer of Good Woods edition.
Summer of Woods.
Summer of Wood.
I love you.
Thank you for tuning in.
I love you.
This has been ridiculous. Lain is very good and weird, and it actually bewildered us. So it's a truly.
I think we got exactly what we wanted to get across in this episode about Lain.
Bit off, as much as I wanted to chew, and even more. I got a bit extra in there, so great. Thank you, everyone. If you actually sat through this, you are crazy. And
we're gonna record an episode on Technolize.
Oh God. I'd watch Clannad before Technolize. It seems Technolize is described
Clannad is enjoyable.
I watched the first episode of Clannad and I was like, no, I can't do this. This is going to destroy me.
Clannad,
there's no way.
You don't even know what the pain is until you've seen After Story.
David will not think about
fucking watch After Story. David watched Clannad.
I know what
happens.
Oh God! Why would you make something just for it to be sad?
How could they possibly take the Dongo theme and make it painful? But they do.
It was painful when I saw it.
Dongo.
Oh, stop!
Dongo.
We're done.
Dongo.
Thanks, everyone.
I love you.
Bye.
Walls can't take it from me. Jealous of my swag and they can't be my homie. Cocaine's the culture, so I'm gon' move it. Sell it out quick and ain't nothing to it. Touch and work as I'm all invincible. I can't fall hustling in this thing, got me standing 10 toes tall. Cash ain't nothing when you're stacking it like this. Haters are mad cause their money coming slow, not quick. They mad cause of my licks, top money got me like this. They mad cause of my licks, top money got me like this. They mad cause of my licks, top money got me like this. I'm winning in this thing and the money's getting simple. Cuties on me cause of the cash and the dimple. Cash is everywhere and I'm feeling like a bank branch. Winning so major that I ought to buy a wind stamp. Haters wanna get me cause they heard that I'm shining. Every day's all play, no work, just reclining. The money that I'm seeing come in dollars and euros, got me feeling European. They mad cause of my licks, top money got me like this. They mad cause of my licks, top money got me like this. They mad cause of my licks, top money got me like this. These haters knew me, and now they jealous of me cause bad chicks pursue me. I hit a R.E. nigga, now I'm hitting stings. It's a trip, all the things top cash bring, and now the cash chase me. Bum rushing a thug through 7